Hey, how's it going, everyone? This is Dr. Hisham Sayed. So, welcome to my series on using MS Project and construction scheduling. I hope you like this series, and the first part of it, this video, is on the user interface of this cool software and how to use it to set up a project, set up how you create activities and link between them as logic, um, and then see how the project giving you numbers and making sense of these numbers, and playing with the appearance of your schedules, grouping, the timeline, and finally creating calendars and adding your own holidays and see how that will go on with these different things we'll play on. My comment here is that MS Project is a very cool, very nice software, well done by MS Microsoft people. But it was developed with the intention to be a very generic tool for any project manager. And project here, I mean construction, IT, any project that needs management. So in this video, I'll show you the different things that you need to pay attention to, and also in this part and the next part, uh, to fit our needs and how we model construction projects and their schedules. So pay attention to these hints and my 50 cents on how to use MS Project in a way that will make your life easier and get the most potential out of MS Project. So please, take advantage and use these videos. Share it with your friends, and I hope you like it. So let's start. Okay, so for the sake of this tutorial, I will use a very small example of a construction project. I mean, it's only 8 activities, but it serves the purpose of illustrating the use of Microsoft Project. So the description here has all the information that you need for the tutorial. Um, and let's start here with first opening Microsoft Project. You can find it here or in the fast start menu here or under the Microsoft Office. So uh, I will open it from here, Microsoft Office project. Um, yes, so Microsoft Project, and then you see here the interface has 3 parts, or actually 4. So the first one is the typical Microsoft Office type of tabs and commands and icons. And then the left side here looks like an Excel sheet with columns, and then the activities will be the rows. And then the right part will be, for that view, the Gantt chart. We can see different views, but it starts all as the standard here is with the Gantt chart. And then you see the timeline here. Uh, Currently, it just picks the date of I made the video, so February 8th, 2016. Uh, and we need to now start creating the schedule for that example. So I'll just save the project here and just save it on the desktop. Yeah, the file already existing. Let's save on it, and then the first thing you need to do is to go to the project information. And the first thing is when is the project starting? So for the sake of this illustration here to be consistent, when you apply your own tutorial using the video and check it against the video, we'll all use this old date. So March 1st, 2013. So March 1st, 2013. And then the current date here, just ignore it for now. It's used for the sake of controlling and updating your schedule. So once you do the schedule and you start the construction, you keep updating it and figuring out are you on track or not. So for now, we're done with the project information, and we say start, and we see here the start date is change it to be March 1st, 2013. And then the next would be to set the default settings for the activities that we'll create. So we go to the options and schedule, and then we select here auto schedule tasks. So of course we want to use the software capabilities to figure out the schedule and the dates of every activity. So if it is manually scheduled, it's simply telling we're telling the software to be lazy and depend on us, which doesn't make sense. So we'll say it's auto schedule. We want to use the computer. We paid money for that, so we want to use the computer here. And then the next would be changing the task type. So we have here different types, and from my experience and observation of the industry, the best way that fits how construction planners and schedulers build their schedule is to use a fixed duration type for the tasks or the activities. Again, this is a generic scheduling tool, Microsoft project. And in construction, the way we do it is we do the quantity takeoff, estimating durations, and of course, based on what crews we get to use. But usually when we construct the schedule, first thing we enter is the duration for every activity. And then we load resources and we do many things after that. But we simply define the duration and the logic, you have a schedule. So for us here, we will use the fixed duration. There are different other types. We'll not get into these details, but you can check online for many resources that describe this relationship between units, duration, and work. Microsoft has its own way of defining or having this relationship, and I will leave it to you to Google for it and read about it. It's a very interesting formula, but sometimes it becomes confusing, and especially when you see it in reality in the software itself. So once you do these changes, we say okay, and then we're ready to start entering the activities. So this is like a really a spreadsheet. So you just say the first activity based on the example we have here is preparing the site. So prepare site, and we see here the icon here says confirming that we are using automatically scheduled tasks, and the start here is picking automatically the start date of the whole project, because if you increase this one here, it has no predecessor, so it assumes that it is a starting activity, the project starts with it, then it is using the start date of the project. And then the finish here is the same as the start date, because you have 1 day duration. And this is one thing you need to pay attention to, is when you put a date on the start column here, it has a different meaning even if you use the same date value on the finish. So the date on a start column means it is the beginning of that date, and then the date on the finish column means it is the end of that date. So between the start of March 1st and the end of March 1st, you have 1 day forward. If I change this to 2, now I remove the question mark because this is my input now. You see it's starting the beginning of March 1st and ending March 4th. So this is maybe confusing now, but if you look at the bar chart here, these gray areas are weekends. So now it's still 2 days of work. You start at the beginning of March 1st and end at the end of March 4th, but still you end up at the end with still 2 days of work. So just be careful and make sense of the dates here. Don't just take it granted, and you always check whatever computer is giving you, because in computers, trash in, trash out. So keep building your schedule. Of course, now the prepare the site has a duration of 1, so just get it back to 1, and then the other tasks here: construct footings, and this one is 9 days, so 9. And you see here it's building up the list of activities. You can copy the list of activities if you have it in Excel sheet, copy and paste here. It is within the same Microsoft Office suite of softwares or programs, so it is very compatible, very easy to to make the transition from Excel to Microsoft Office. So I'll keep building this and come back to you in this video. So just hang in. Okay, so welcome back. So now, after spending time on entering all the activities, 8 activities here, and their durations, we see here all of them, again, no predecessors. So you assume here, or the software assumes that the project starts with all of them. But of course, now you have a logic or relationship with dependencies between them. Some of you might not have the predecessor or the successors columns shown, so you just say insert column, and then these are all the possible values to show in the columns. So just if you're missing a column, look for it. Successors will be listed here. Successors. And it's there, but actually we have it, so just we'll go back. So we have the successor predecessors. So now we are in the step that we need to define the logic relationships between the activities we have. So there are different ways of doing that. The first way is to select the 2 activities by the control button here and keep clicking on the activities, and then click on the link tasks button here, and then you create this link. Why specifically link these? Because I'm following here the logic given to me. So here 1 has a follower of activity 2. So this is why I link both. You can do it in a different way. So you go over the first activity until it has this mouse shape here, and then when clicking and keep clicking and going away from this activity, you see now the mouse pointer turns out to the link icon, and then when you go to the other activity, you see here it's reading finish to start link between task 1 and task 2, and once you do it, now you see it's linking both. And you see the cool thing now is populating the successors and predecessors fields for every one of these columns. So if 1 has a successor of activity 2, then it means activity 2 has a predecessor of 1. And we see here again that prepare the site starts Friday, finishes Friday, 1-day duration, and then the second activity depends on it, but it waits until the weekend is over, and then you start for 9 days. So it takes 5 days of the first week, and then 4 days of the second one. So what we'll do now is just keep building the relationships. So this activity has 2 successors, 2 and 3, 3 and 4, I'm sorry. So 3 and 4. This is you can see now it's the easiest way that the kind of drag and drop type of technique. You can still use this one, or you can actually write in the successors or predecessors column. So I can show you an example of writing here. This is 3 and 4, and then 5 and 6. 5 and 6 are the followers for 3 and 4. So I just write here 5, 6, and then 5, 6, and we're done with the logic so far. And sorry, going back here, 5 has 7, 6 has 7 as followers. So 7 are successors. And then now you see here it's extending beyond your view. So what you'll do now is go schedule the bar chart. So view and this entire project. So it zooms in just to show you just the project. Now almost done here. 7 has 8 as the successor here. So 8. And actually 8 now has no successor because it is truly the finishing project. So we have here prepare the site is the starting activity of the project, I'm sorry, and then the clean is the finishing activity of the project because it has no successors. Cool. So now we're done with the the logic or the relationships between the activities. But we're missing one point. Part of the logic is to define the attributes of these logic relationships. So in the input of the activities here, uh, I clearly see all the relationships are finished to start, but it's up to you to use other type of relationships. So if you click on any relationship, you see all of them are finished to start, but uh, here we can change to different types: start to start, finish to finish, or start to finish. Just to show you, start to start, if we change this to start and say OK, you see it changing the schedule. So, and you see here it's adding this SS start to start to successor to as type of relationship. So you can use a syntax, a specific syntax when you write the relationship here, or you draw the drag and drop relationships and then double click on the relation to change the style. So let's go back to the finish to start type of relationship and say OK. And when you go back, there is some asterisks here, notes for the followers of activity 3. And the relationship here is that this relationship, two relationships between 3 and 5 and 3 and 6, has 6 days lag. And here it means it's just to clarify, it's working and non-working days. Just what is the meaning of that? So when you construct the footings, you need some time for the concrete to harden and cure. So you need some time for the concrete to cure, 6 days, and it doesn't matter if it is working or non-working. It's just any day. The concrete just needs time to cure. So you need to define that in the MS project by saying now for between 3 and its successors 5 and 6. So now we're doing 3, 5, and 6. So this activity here, this one, and the links here showing the one going here to 5 and to 6, they need to be to have a lag. So let's click on that and just make sure it is from cast slab on grade 3 to place the roof 5. So I'm dealing with one of them now, and now I need to define here the lag to be 6, but wait here. This is 6D. So D by definition is the working day in MS Project, but we need to have working and non-working any day. Weekend, just concrete cures on weekends. They don't have a break on the weekend. It's just the chemicals start keep doing it, keep doing its business. So now will add E to it. So elapsed day. Elapsed day means it's working and non-working. So let's see the difference between both. So let's imagine just like do a mistake and say it's 6 days, and you see here it's pushing the activity 5 here a little bit. So let's zoom in. And now going back, we see here that added the lag. Just to take off the lag here, just delete it. To keep it 3 and 4. And now, of course, from the logic here, 5 depends on 3 and 4. So the latest of them finishes 4, and this is why it starts at the end of 4. But if I do finish the start here 6 days, now from the end of 3, I will count 3 days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now it's not critical by the end of 4, it's critical by the end of 3 and 6 days lag. But I'm counting only the working days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But still the concrete here queues on the weekend, and I can use this in my advantage and save time. So now if I add just the E, just E here, you'll see here 6 days of elapsed days. Now you see you're counting in the non-working, the weekend days. So this is just the difference here. And the other thing we'll do now is to apply the same lag with between 3 and 6. So now going to 3 and 6, this you need to be careful now which link to pick. So I think this is from 3 to 4, 5, 6. This is 6, so this is the link. And just to make sure it is from gas slab and grade. 2 is still Windows, which is 6. So now I need to write it here 6 ED 6 elapsed days, and then this is the chain tab. So now you define the logic, and it's just now if you go back to the entire project view, this is the schedule. You enter all the durations, the logic, and you can see here successors, predecessors, and you can see the entire schedule. So the next would be now, once the schedule is done, just to see how we can improve the view and control the view of the schedule. So this will be just after that short break. Okay, so we'll come back. So this is the segment now after building our schedule, so entering activities, defining relationships. Now we need to make reason and understand more the schedule here. So first let's check what is the finish date in the project information. So now starting March 1st, now the finish date, now it's something you don't have control in because it's calculated by the software, is April 24th. This is the initial, still linked to, we'll make some changes by assigning calendars and holidays, but currently this is the finish date. So we say okay, and then the next thing is to maybe improve the appearance. It's individual preferences, but one thing is the timeline here. Some people would like to see months, not weeks, and weeks instead of days. So if you double click on it, the time scale here you can format it in different ways. You can have 3 tiers or 2 tiers, so you're dealing with the middle and bottom, and it eliminates the top tier. So this is why you see here it's disabled. But if you deal here with 2 tiers, then the middle tier will be in weeks, like we can see here, March 3rd to March 17th to March 31st. So it's actually counting by 2 weeks. So the bottom tier here is in days, middle tier is in weeks, and the count is 2 because now I'm zooming it out a little too much, so it's counting by 2 weeks. So I would just say play with the settings here and see which one you like. You can do the bottom tier here by label of days or count of days, so it's just a preference that everyone likes to use individually in their own projects. So this is just the appearance here. The other thing very important is related to appearance also, but actually it delivers a lot of information, is the critical path. So, I mean, critical activity, if you go back to the lectures on scheduling, critical activity is the one that has 0 float. So you cannot afford any delay in it because simply it will mean a delay in the whole project. So what we will do now is we want to show, if we go back to the view, entire project, we want to show, I'll just squeeze this here, entire project, and let's zoom in. So now all the activities look the same, but I need to pay attention to the critical ones because I need to supply material and pay attention to making sure everything of its requirements are satisfied. So we need to give colors. We need to differentiate between the colors of critical and non-critical activities. So if you right click on any part of the ground here, the background, and then say bar styles, and you see here all the tasks has this appearance. So what I will do now is insert a task or insert a row that will define the appearance of anything I want. So I can define appearance of tasks, milestones, notes. So I will just go to the split here and say insert row. So just below the task, and then I will name that critical activity. And I will give this appearance here that I will control. Give critical is 99.99% and schedules are red. Very, very critical, dangerous to play with it, and delay it. And then now, which activity to pick to give this appearance to? So what I will do now is to pick critical. So look for critical as a word, and this is the one. So Microsoft Office here, or Microsoft Project, will understand if you've picked critical, it will only apply this shape or appearance to the activities that has zero float, zero total float. So if I do that, and with that, if I click OK, now it changes the color of the critical activities to be red, which makes sense. This is my critical path, the longest path, and this is the critical path for activities. Just to show you here, one thing, bar charts, this one, if I cut this row, the sequence of the rows here, or the appearances makes a difference. So if I cut the row and insert the row here, past, and delete this one I did cut. So I'm putting the critical activity as appearance in the first one, and then say OK. Oops. So now everything is gone. You see here there's links are red, but I don't see the red color for the critical. So this is the point I want to say. Is all these appearances are shown, but on top of each other. So you need to be careful of the order here. So you want to show the activity. All the activities will have the yellow one. So I'll just copy this back and paste it here. So now all activities as an order of appearance here. All activities will have the blue, and then for the critical activities, show on top of the blue the red. So simply you will show the red at the end. So this is the critical activities, and we can see here clearly on the bar chart. Another way of looking at the schedule is looking at the Gantt chart. I'm sorry, not the Gantt chart, the network diagram. So it's not shown here. Some installations show you the more views as a default, but for us here, we'll look for the network diagram and make it as part of the more views. And now you see here another view is the activity on Node. Other softwares called CPM networks, other Perl network, and Primavera, for example. But it's simply the activity on Node with more information, very visual in terms of the relationships, but not good visually like the bar chart in terms of showing the durations and the start of things. So going back to the Gantt chart, what we'll do now is also grouping activities. So just an appearance or showing the schedule in different ways. But before that, let's do actually one thing. We didn't finish our schedule, didn't model our schedule correctly because I'm saying here that March 15 is a holiday. So let's go back to the schedule and see where is March 15. So this is March 13, 14, 15. So 15 is actually a Friday. It should be a working day, but for some reason it is a holiday. So you need to define this as a holiday. So defining it as a holiday, we need to come up with our own calendar. So what we'll need to do is create our own calendar. So we'll go to project, change working time, and then create new calendar. And I will say this is a calendar with holiday. And make a copy of the standard because the standard has always the weekends are non-working days. And another base calendar. So let's see, calendar with holiday. Is this there? Oh, so I created that file. So let's let's create a calendar with holiday, or pick a new one. Let's actually create a new one. So calendar with holiday 1, because I created it already, and I'll make it from copy from the standard. And this is uh, my new calendar that I need now to define March 15th, 2013 as a holiday. So I'll write here holiday, and then the start here means picking at the current date I made the video, but I will take this out and say March 15th, 2013. I need to copy that, copy, and here. So the start and finish is just one day, March 15, 2015, and say okay. And no change happened here. I just if I zoom, view entire project, project and project information, still April 24, so no change. So I created the calendar, I defined the holiday, but actually I didn't tell the software to follow this calendar with the holiday. So what I need to do is go to the project information, and then tell them the software to use for this project is to use the calendar with the holiday. And I want you to see here Wednesday, April 24th. This is before applying the change. And we see there is a push of the activities, because now if I zoom in, this activity here, these two, were supposed to start on Friday, but now Friday is a working day, or actually sorry, non-working day. So if you want to be clear about showing it as a non-working day, so non-working times, I want to show it as following the calendar with holidays. So now it's showing this gray shading as a non-working day. So now when I look at it, yes, it is non-working day because there is a holiday entered there. So, and if you go back to the project information, now I extended the project by one day from April 24th to April 25th because of this holiday. So almost done here with finishing the basic scheduling part, which is part one of this series here. So the last thing I want to show you is sorting and grouping activities. So when we do sorting and grouping activities, meaning make it simple to track activities and know which parts of the project it refers to. So for example, some would notice that there are some site work activities and building activities. So what I will need to do now is group the first and the last one, even if they are chronologically on our respective time, they are done just at the beginning, at the end of the project, but as grouping, it makes sense to say site work includes preparing the site and cleaning it. So some people prefer grouping it in this way. So what I will do is say insert task, and then I will call this site activities. Of course, this is not part of the initial activity list I created, but just for grouping. So what I will need to do now is group these two activities under the site activities by selecting them both, and then going to task and then say indent task. You see here now it's a second level of the site activities. And let's do it again. So before that, site activities was just like any activity, but it's not really an activity, it's just something to group activities under. So I will indent this, and now we see it's calculating automatically from the start of the first activity under it to the end of the last to be done of the activities under it. So site activities, and then I will add another task for building activities. And now this one is part of the site activities, but actually it's in the same level. So I will back and then out indent it. Now it's on the same level, and now indent all the activities below it. And see now these are the two major group of activities: site activities and building activities. Just a way to group and think following work breakdown structure. If you want to do it this way, grouping activities and sub-activities and work packages. You can group by subcontracts. So there are different ways of organizing the project based on your own preference. So this marks the end of the part one, is creating the schedule, setting it, the settings and defaults for activities, creating activities logic, and defining calendars, and controlling the appearance rate based on your own preference. So I'm giving you multiple options here based on your own like or taste. So this is the end of part one, and part two will cover the advanced tasks related to scheduling, which are resources, uh, resource creation or identification, allocation, and leveling. So have fun with this part and keep replaying it if you have missed one part of it, and look for the second part of this series. Thank you.